The FTC is looking into Microsoft's OpenAI investment. 23andMe frantically changed its terms of service to prevent hacked customers from suing. And researchers made VR goggles for mice. It's Monday, December 11th, and this is Engadget News. OpenAI's recent drama has not only caught UK regulators' attention. Bloomberg reported Friday that the Federal Trade Commission is looking into Microsoft's investment in the Sam Altman-led company and whether it violates U.S. antitrust laws. FTC Chair Lina Khan wrote in a New York Times op-ed earlier this year that the expanding adoption of AI risks further locking in the market dominance of large incumbent technology firms. Bloomberg's report stresses that the FTC inquiry is preliminary and the agency has not opened a formal investigation. But Khan and company are reportedly analyzing the situation and assessing what its options are. One complicating factor for regulation is that OpenAI is a nonprofit, and transactions involving non-corporate entities aren't required by law to be reported. In addition, Microsoft's $13 billion investment doesn't technically give it control over OpenAI in the eyes of the law, another factor in determining what action a governmental agency might be able to take. However, the recent ousting and rehiring of Altman and the integral role Microsoft played in reverting those chess pieces to its preferred positions suggests the lack of control over the nonprofit is more a technicality than the relationship's underlying essence. Genetic testing company 23andMe hastily changed its terms of service to prevent customers from filing class action lawsuits or participating in a jury trial days after reports revealed that attackers accessed personal information of nearly 7 million people, or half of the company's user base, in an October hack. In an email sent to customers earlier this week viewed by Engadget, the company announced that it had made updates to the dispute resolution and arbitration section of its terms to include procedures that will encourage a prompt resolution of any disputes and to streamline arbitration proceedings where multiple similar claims are filed. Clicking through leads customers to the newest version of the company's terms of service that essentially disallow customers from filing class action lawsuits, something that more people are likely to do now that the scale of the hack is clearer. Notably, 23andMe will automatically opt customers into the new terms unless they specifically inform the company that they disagree by sending an email within 30 days of receiving the firm's notice. Unless they do that, they will be deemed to have agreed to the new terms, the company's email tells customers. 23andMe did not respond to a request for comment from Engadget. In October, the San Francisco-based genetic testing company announced that hackers had accessed sensitive user information, including photos, full names, geographical location, information related to ancestry trees, and even names of related family members. The company said that no genetic material or DNA records were exposed. Days after that attack, the hackers put up profiles of hundreds of thousands of Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people for sale on the internet. But until last week, it was not clear how many people were impacted. Axios noted that forbidding people from filing class action lawsuits hides information about the proceedings from the public, since affected parties typically attempt to resolve disputes with arbitrators in private. Experts, such as Chicago Kent College of Law professor Nancy Kim, an online contractor expert, told Axios that changing its terms would not be enough to protect 23andMe in court. Believe it or not, scientists have been using virtual reality setups to study brain activity in lab mice for years. In the past, this has been done by surrounding the mice with flat displays, a tactic that has obvious limitations for simulating a realistic environment. Now, in an attempt to create a more immersive experience, a team at Northwestern University actually developed tiny VR goggles that fit over a mouse's face and most of its body. This has allowed them to simulate overhead threats for the first time and map the mice's brain activity all the while. The system, dubbed Miniature Rodent Stereo Illumination VR, or immersive, isn't strapped onto the mouse's head like a VR headset for humans. Instead, the goggles are positioned at the front of a treadmill, surrounding the mouse's entire field of view as it runs in place. In their tests, the researchers say the mice appeared to take to the new VR environment more quickly than they did with the past setups. To recreate the presence of overhead threats like birds swooping in for a meal, the team projected expanding dark spots at the tops of the displays. Co-first author Dom Pink wrote that the way they react to threats like this is not a learned behavior. It's an imprinted behavior. It's wired inside the mouse's brain. With this method, the researchers were able to record both the mice's outward physical responses, like freezing in place or speeding up, and their neural activity. In the future, they may flip the scenario and let the mice act as predators to see what goes on as they hunt insects. A paper on the technique was published in the journal Neuron last Friday. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. Check out Engadget Next, dropping here in the same channel later today. This episode featured journalism by Engadget contributors Will Shanklin, Pranav Dixit, and Cheyenne McDonald, and was produced by Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more Engadget news.